And here with answers to your medical questions in our Ask the Doc segment is Dr. Misante Levine. Enterovirus D68, not something that I know, long name for it.
Correct.
Not something that we've heard about a lot here in Southeast Texas.
I mean, not much. Certainly, we're talking more about Ebola virus than
We've heard a lot about that.
Yeah, talking about that more than probably any other virus that is going on right now. We certainly want to highlight the influenza virus as well, but no, we don't hear too much about that. You know, there's a lot of viruses out there that we don't hear a lot about, but they can be lethal and they can kill. We have rare illnesses that kill people all the time. It's just that not in the number that will raise any suspicion. So it's sad that this has occurred in that patient, but they're always going around, and we always have to have high vigilance to look for rare illnesses. That's why we always talk to patients about going back to the healthcare professional if your symptoms don't go away, they get worse, because a lot of times our diagnosis is not correct on the initial visit. We might need more lab, more x-rays, a different mindset to make that diagnosis.
And best thing to do, vaccines?
Absolutely, vaccines all the time. They're always available depending on which vaccine that is. Pneumonia vaccine, shingles, pertussis, those are available at the pharmacies currently. This is flu season, so flu vaccine is available. Because of the manufacturing process, it is available sooner than October, November, which was more traditional in getting the flu vaccine. So as soon as it's available or being offered, you certainly need to get it. And typically it will protect you for the entire flu season. So if you get it now, then certainly it will protect you until next year, 2015, late February, early March, so get it as soon as you can.
So it's not one of those things where if you wait until later, then you're going to be protected longer?
No. No.
Okay.
I mean, you want to get that protection as soon as possible, because you could get the flu virus tomorrow or the next day. And remember, if you have a lot of medical problems, you want as much protection as possible, because if you do get sick with a lot of medical problems, you're more likely to get sicker, end up in the hospital, be more maimed, so to speak, from the infection. So the immunization is protection from the infection. It's not 100%, but it is a significant reduction in contracting the virus, as well as preventing spread, especially if you live in a big family. Maybe your mom, your dad is ill, and then you get the virus, you bring it home, you spread it around your family. So that's why we need everybody to get that vaccine.
And as far as the other vaccinations, pneumonia, shingles, is there a specific time frame, every 2 years, every 5 years, that one should do?
Yeah, somewhat the frequency. Pneumonia vaccine normally is every 5 to 10 years. The shingles is something we recommend to elderly patients primarily, 60 and above. That's normally a one-time immunization, as well as the pertussis. We normally recommend that at the age of 65 and above, especially if they're around a lot of grandkids, a lot of newborns. We want, again, to protect the elderly patient as well as the new infant. So that is the typical frequency for that. Certainly, if someone is concerned, you can always go get a vaccine. Again, it offers you a lot of protection. Certainly check with your healthcare professional to make sure you are a candidate for that. Sometimes if you're on immunosuppressants or you have certain illnesses, you're not a candidate for some of these viruses, because they're what we call live viruses, and it can sometimes cause havoc if you're on immunosuppressants or you're not up to getting the vaccine.
Now, what about some of those things? I'm allergic to eggs, I'm allergic to wheat. Any of that should play a factor in getting the vaccine?
Yeah, concerning the flu vaccine, there is a vaccine available for patients who have had an allergy to egg. It's not necessarily available at all pharmacies, so just check with the outlet that you get the vaccine from.
All right, we've got lots of questions, so hang tight. We'll answer your questions next on Live at 5. We're back with Dr. Misante Levine to answer your medical questions. This person wants to know, what risk does Ebola have in traveling in airplanes, since flights go directly from Beaumont to Dallas? Of course, one of the patients being in Dallas. I
mean, certainly I'm not an Ebola expert. I've been reading the articles and the medical journals that I have, and they've been talking about it. At this point, based on what I know, there is no risk for anyone to fly to Dallas and be in Dallas, as long as you're not next to a person who is infected with Ebola. And it's not necessarily an airborne illness like the flu. You have to have direct contact with body fluids, somehow a mist, somehow, and certainly that person has to have symptoms at the time of your contact for you to become infected. So
do you ask that person sitting next to you, have you traveled to Liberia? Have you traveled to Africa
certainly,
lately?
I mean, caution is always a good thing. Certainly you can ask. That's nothing wrong with that, but certainly based on how it's been described, Ebola makes a person look ill, so that person should look sick and ill. We all know that as physicians, when we walk into a room or see a patient in a hospital, we can see the illness on them. So as Ebola progresses, normally patients will have some symptoms that look very ill and sick, so you naturally would ask that person if they are in that particular situation. But they have to be sick, you have to have direct contact with them, so as long as that doesn't exist, you're fine.
Okay, another question. This is a 59-year-old female. She's diabetic. She has brown toenails. Why?
A lot of times diabetics have a lot of circulatory problems in their toenails. Remember, the toenail receives blood flow just like every other organ. Diabetes at the top of the list causes cardiovascular problems, problems with the circulation. The toenail bed needs good blood supply, so a lot of times you can disrupt circulation to the toenail bed. It changes the appearance of the toenail. Again, depending on the type of shoes that you wear, you might cause trauma to the toenail bed, and a lot of times you can develop neuropathy in diabetes. Again, traumatizes the toenail bed, and that can change the color of the toe.
Okay, a 76-year-old woman, 96 over 103. I'm assuming this is her blood pressure. It's never been that low before. Why might it be so low?
It's probably 103 over 96, again at 76. If she has medical problems such as heart failure, high blood pressure, dehydration, thyroid disease, that can all cause a low blood pressure. We always talk about over-medicating people all the time. Elderly patients are a prime example. We do it all the time. We don't mean it, but it sometimes happens. And so that's the reason we tell patients to go to see your doctor, know what your medications are. Certainly this person could have anemia and a low blood count from a silent source of bleeding, so certainly this is a little dangerous, and they need to get checked out as soon as possible.
All right, Dr. Levine, unfortunately we're out of time, but we appreciate
Yes,
your
ma'am.
time here with us.
All right.
And you can always visit our website and see the answers to these and other medical questions posted online. And if you'd like to have Dr. Levine answer your medical question, you can always mail us at the address listed on your screen, fax us 892-7305, or email us at laf@kftm.com, or better yet, post those questions every Monday on our KFDM News Facebook page.